Resident Evil 9 has attracted a cult following. Despite the game not even being out yet, tons of rumors and leaks have gotten this game to high status. And without a doubt, we are receiving a new Resident Evil game because this baby's been in production since 9 years. We are very, very close to a Resident Evil 9 announcement. So in this video, I wanted to look at all the Resident Evil 9 leaks and get a glimpse of what to expect on this new game. Yo, my name is runnerz, and with me I have an up-and-coming YouTube who just hit 100 subscribers. We got an applause for that. And my man has been in this Resident Evil fandom longer than me. I would like to introduce you to Mr. Tibbz, aka Mr. T. What's going on, Mr. T? How you doing?
Thank you very much. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Thank you very much, Mr. runnerz, for letting me be a part of this. I am very, very excited to kind of give my own thoughts and theories on what we can expect in this new chapter of Resident Evil 9.
Oh wow, man, it's gonna be a blast once they announce this, Mr. T. It is, it really is. All right, everyone, please smash and like that subscribe button. Follow us on IG, Instagram, X, links will be in the description. But let's get started with this little interview and where we think these leaks are gonna happen, and let's see where it goes. I want to talk about where the setting is gonna be at. From the beginning, I want to say Resident Evil 9, the game's probably taking place 4 years after Resident Evil Village, continuing the search of the company that developed Evelyn in Resident Evil 7. What do you think about that, T?
Well, from everything that we've kind of got from Dusk Golem, I think that is a very good point that they're going to go forward with. I believe that the setting is probably looking at another castle, like a sort of castle slash mansion, but I think it's going to be on a much larger scale than sort of Castle Dimitrescu. I think it's going to be very much a whole explorable castle, kind of like what we saw in Resident Evil 3.5 with Leon exploring a whole castle rather than just one set area. Got you.
So who are the playable characters? Well, according to these leaks, they all point to Leon S. Kennedy as the main protagonist. Rumors reported Jill might be starring alongside of Leon, but hold on, like I said, this is a big might because a player tester did tweet he got to play test the game and also reported Chris and Barry in the story as well. But this whole rumor was turned down by insider Dusk Golem, like we said, tweeting Capcom quickly reacted under the performance of Resident Evil 7 sales. So what the playtester said he played was probably like something Capcom reacted to the underperformance of Resident Evil 7. And based on what he played, it was Leon and Jill on an island that resembles Singapore. A different game plan than what was to come from 7 and 8 with the whole Ethan Winter sagas. Remember, Resident Evil 9 was being developed since 2017, same year of Resident Evil 7. So what do you think of that?
As much as I love my boy Leon, I feel, like I said, when it comes to insider leaks with Dusk Golem and people like that, I think we've got to take it with very much a pinch of salt. Now, my personal belief that we are going to get is we are going to get the reunion of Leon and Claire, as I believe that Capcom are going to be setting up for a Code Veronica remake after Resident Evil 9. So I feel like bringing Claire back will be the only logical explanation. Yeah. I actually did hear something about the Code Veronica remake being remade. I also heard they're working, or if possibly, maybe they're remaking Resident Evil 0 as well. Oh, then that'd be interesting, because like, would they make it fully co-op, or would they kind of do it as Resident Evil 0 was played, where you switch between characters? Honestly, in my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of co-op. I mostly like playing single player story modes. And I did like how they did it in Resident Evil 0 when you can just switch, like you said. Well, like I said, for me personally, I hope that Code comes first. I think that needs to come before a Resi 5 remake, because Code Veronica does explain how Wesker comes back. It kind of closes off Claire's story as what Resi 4 did for Leon. sort of thing. So my hope is that Code Veronica comes first before any more remakes come, because there is talk of obviously a remake of Z1 remake as well in 2026.
Oh, okay.
Because of where that's coming to its 30th anniversary.
Oh yeah, next year.
Yeah, which is insane that Resident Evil has been around for 3 decades now.
I know, right? I'm still young, so I'm like 23, so I haven't been.
Oh, you're a pup.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really been around that long, you know. Honestly, we're going off script a little bit, but I was gonna tell you, what is the first Resident Evil game you played?
Well, this one that I ever played, because obviously I'm 32, so I was there when sort of the original Resident Evils were sort of made. So, but I was like very young when they first come out. So I was a little bit of a scaredy cat.
Okay.
So yeah, so I didn't really get into them until like my late teens, and by that point I was already sort of like, I think Resi 5 had already sort of come out, but I went back, played the original Resident Evil 2. That was my first sort of game that I played.
Yeah, same thing with me. You know, when Resident Evil came out, I think it was like 2000 for me when I played it. It was like 2010ish. You know, I just had a PlayStation 1. And you know, I had the game, but I was always scared as well. I really couldn't even pass the first level. But you know, I kept the game around, and years went on, and I played Resident Evil 4, and that was actually like the main game that got me into Resident Evil. I'm a huge Leon fan. But just to recap on who we think will be the playable characters in this Resident Evil 9, T said he believes it will be Leon and Claire. I'm gonna stick with just Leon as the main protagonist. For some reason, I think Capcom really likes to keep Leon as the main character. I don't know, like every game he's in, it's always really good, except for Resident Evil 6. That's one game I could say I'm not really a fan of, you know? It's too much.
What do you mean? Resident Evil 6 don't exist. They went 5, 7, 8.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I don't know where Resident Evil 6 is not. It's not really. I'm not really a fan of it. I could play it, but I just can't. It's way too long. But yeah, recap. T says Leon and Claire. I'ma just stick with Leon. I want to talk about gameplay mechanics. What do you think the gameplay mechanics will be, T?
Well, this kind of goes back to sort of having Claire back and going back to that Code Veronica feeling. I feel that we're going to get a very sort of old style Resident Evil, that we're going to get fixed camera angles. We're going to get I don't think the attaché case is coming back. I think that we're going to get sort of like the limited inventory, sort of finding herbs. So very much it's going to be very old style Resident Evil of solving puzzles, going from point A to point B, bringing items to point A to point B. I think it's going to be very much there. If this is going to be the sort of, as what people have said, that this is going to be the end of the main timeline of Resident Evil, then I feel like it's only right that they're going to go back to their old style and kind of go with what they know best.
I'm gonna hold you off on that right there, but a lot of insiders have also said that the game will be something new, nothing drastic, but a touch different. Some also say Resident Evil 9 will have open world elements. You can compare it to just like Resident Evil 8, just like you said, like with the castle, you know, being opened up a little bit. You can also say, you know, when I read about Resident Evil 9 maybe being open world, I was kind of disappointed. I'm not too sure how they will do that. I would think it will be kind of little open open world, because you know, when you play horror games, you know, the director or like the people who created the game would want you to see what they want you to see instead of just roaming around. I don't think horror games are meant for that. But another mechanic that the game will be third person, like Resident Evil 4. You know, as you can see on the screenshot right here, and it was always designed to be in third person, as what the screenshot says. There's also rumors of including first-person camera too, just like they did in Resident Evil 8, like in the Gold Edition. With all the hype around, I want to think this year Summer Game Fest will drop Resident Evil 9. You know, what do you think? What do you say about that, T?
I definitely think that Summer Game Fest is going to have something. I think it's going to, either they're going to say, oh, it's in development, here's a little teaser, or they're going to show a full-blown trailer. Because of how long it has been in development, they might have something more substantial to show us.
Got you. T, I don't know if you saw Capcom on X, but they did have a little post thanking the players. Yeah, there you go. I don't know, I just got lost for it, but yeah. Yeah, they were thanking the players about Resident Evil 4 reaching over 10 million players. Did you see that post that they had where the X and the 1 in Roman numerals were right there? Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that. That was one of the first things I caught when I saw the sort of like little Resident Evil 4 celebration trailer that they did do. Yeah.
So with that in mind, do you think it actually will be dropped this summer, Resident Evil 9?
I think it's going to be more of a winter thing. I think it's going to be like I said, I think they're going to say, right, Summer Game Fest, they're going to do a trailer or a teaser, and then they're going to come up with, like they did for Resi 8, where they did a whole sort of data play just surrounding that, probably about August, September time, saying, okay, the game is ready to be dropped, and it's going to be dropped November, December, because next year we want to focus on Onimusha and Okami 2 and stuff like that. So we want to drop Resident Evil this year with all the hype surrounding it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to kind of go a little more far until 2026, as you know, Capcom does like releasing Resident Evil during like the beginning of the year. But I would say maybe January, February, or March of 2026. But I don't think they will drop in May, because we all know what's being dropped in 2026 in May. You know, we got the big shebang of GTA, the game that's going to take over, I assume, for the rest of the year. So I'm going to have to lean more towards the beginning of 2026 in those 3 months. But I'm just ready to play with some Resident Evil 9, you know? It's been so long, you know, so many rumors here and there. I'm just ready to play, you know? How about you, T?
I am ready. I've got, like I said, I've got my own thoughts and theories that collabed with good friends of mine, Gemini and Notorious Base, that we kind of put together some thoughts and feelings of what could happen in Resident Evil 9, if you guys want to go and check that out. But one of the main things that I feel happen is that we are going to definitely lose one of our big four, which for me personally, I feel that it's either going to be Claire or Jill that we're going to end up losing in Resi 9, because like I said, if this is going to be the end, why not kill off one of the big four?
Yes, that's what I was thinking as well. I was actually hoping they were going to execute Resident Evil 9 like Infinity War for Marvel's. Probably kill off a couple players or something, you know? Give us like something we weren't expecting. I was actually thinking the same thing.
So my kind of theory is that Leon is obviously going through, he's been through a lot, bless him. Like, let's be fair. He hasn't had the best luck when it comes to this shit.
Yeah.
So my theory is that he's gonna have a moment of, if this is still a sort of Evelyn kind of monster that gets in your head, makes you see stuff, I think he's gonna see something, pull the trigger, the scene is gonna go black, and then as it opens back up, either Claire or Jill is gonna fall to the floor dead.
Oh wow, yeah, well, that's a strong theory, man. That's insane. I didn't even think of that. Wow. But yeah, you know, Leon has been through a lot. I forgot what movie it was in Resident Evil, but you know, when Chris approached him with Rebecca, you know, his vacation time was that bottle of liquor, you know. Yeah. All right, T. Well, you know, how long is Summer Game Fest from today? Like
5 days, I think.
5 days. Well,
yeah, it's on Friday the 6th of June. So time of recording is Monday the 2nd.
Got you. Well, everybody, hope you guys loved the this little chat me and Mr. T had. You know, if you guys love Resident Evil, please follow Mr. T on Instagram or X. Where can they find you, T?
Mainly on YouTube over at Mr. Tibbz 1992. I've also got Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that you guys can follow me at. That it's all linked in my YouTube account. So once you find me there, you'll find me on other social medias. And
I want to congratulate you again, Mr. T, for 100 subscribers. That is a big milestone. I gotta clap it up for that. You know, that's amazing. You know. But hey, you know,
you'll get there, brother. You'll get there.
I appreciate it.
I'm determined to make you get there by the end of the year. I'm telling you.
I would love if we actually took off together. That would be incredible. You know, I never thought I would be friends with a UK person. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I really didn't think too much of my channel when I started it up. But like I said, everyone, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Talk Resident Evil Leaks with Mr. T and Easy Runs. Yeah, man, I catch you on the next one. Look out for Mr. T. He's maybe dropping a more Resident Evil 2 remake. I'm actually a big fan of that game, so look out for his video and look out for my Resident Evil remastered video. And you know, we both doing giveaways, and yeah, man, I'll catch y'all guys. Peace out.